Dave, and I just saw that in a brilliant stroke of genius, BP Pulse has offered to buy the entire Tesla Supercharger network and gain a world monopoly on EV charging. And part of that is to take on all the SAC staff. I love it, as it actually signals the end of BP. Stick around as Dave takes it on. Well, I'm already getting comments from viewers asking, is Tesla selling out? Will we lose our cheap charging? So let me get rid of those immediately. No. Tesla network is safe and growing at a tremendous pace. Ignore the headlines, look deeper into why BP would offer to buy the network and take on all the SAC staff, because they really do. Well, last year BP Pulse signed a $100 million deal to buy Tesla V4 chargers. That's a valid deal, and Tesla is obliged to manufacture them and supply them. It's not a choice. They can't shut the division down. That hasn't changed. So what's BP up to? And here there are two key things. Well, first, BP Pulse has no experience at all in locating suitable sites for EV chargers, nor anything to do with planning permission, negotiating with electrical companies, DNOs, getting other landowners for wayleaves, nor buying and installing the actual chargers. They're a petrol and oil company. The chargers they have, they were all installed, they're simply subcontracted out, and they're all located on their forecourts, no planning required, and they were of such low power that they use the existing power available. Yeah, it may state on them it's 50 kilowatts, but can you ever get 50 kilowatts out of them? I never have. But the US government has recently offered just about everyone almost unlimited grants and subsidies by way of the Inflation Reduction Act. They have a target to install 500,000 public rapid and ultra-rapid chargers by 2030 and have less than 50,000 of them at present, and most of those are Tesla Superchargers. Oh, this is massive. This is too good an opportunity to be true. This is definitely not to be missed. Well, second, BP is seeing a sharp drop in profits and a sharp increase in extraction costs. It costs more to get out the ground and sells less than previously. Well, part of this is just the ICE cars. With high petrol prices, inflation, people are choosing more economical cars and they're driving less. Essential journeys only. Petrol sales are down and they're falling faster than predicted. Then there's EVs. Well, like or Houten, they've taken about 10% of the petrol market. This is a real double whammy. 10% of people have stopped buying petrol altogether and the rest are buying far less. This is not new. I launched a previous video, link for that down below, back in July 2023, another one in November 2023, in which they quoted their publication, BP Energy Outlook 2023 edition, where BP published their outlook for oil, gas and petrol in 23 and beyond. And that stated very clearly, this was their own report, not an independent one. It was not happy reading. It showed a sharp slowdown in petrol sales and a sharp increase in costs. The only two bits of good news for them after that was the Russian invasion of Ukraine, with the sanction imposed that rocketed up crude oil prices totally unexpectedly. And then the recent decision by OPEC, the oil cartel, to cut production around the world to artificially keep prices really high. They don't want prices to fall back again to previous levels. But in a catch-22, high prices also stop people driving as far, resulting in lower sales. There's a tipping point. Anyway, BP predicted their own downfall and ultimate extinction, and that is starting to show through now. First quarter 2024 reports are not happy reading. So take a falling demand, a possible sudden drop in the crude oil price if any of the OPEC members produce more than agreed to get them out of their own financial mess, and then add in the billions on offer from the government and the IRA and BP. Finally, look at the predicted EV penetration target, 50% EVs by 2023 in America. Put all that together, BP has to dive into EV charging big time. Now, if you're enjoying this video, please subscribe. So we know why they're getting into EV charging, but what's the best way to do it? And here you need to look at Tesla's supercharger pricing. Around the world, Tesla prices are significantly lower than anyone else, sometimes 75%, less. Yeah, it's easy to charge at a Tesla Supercharger and pay around a quarter. I recently charged my Tesla at Bristol Eastgate and paid 22 pence off peak, 22. BP Pulse charges 85, so Tesla is well placed to kill off the massive potential profit BP could be making by forcing every EV driver to pay 85 pence at their chargers. It is easy to imagine a BP Pulse world monopoly if there is no Tesla. The whole world would then charge EVs at 85p, possibly even higher per kilowatt hour, and just cream off the huge profits. But Tesla is firmly in the way. And Elon Musk's ambition is to keep prices down and make EV driving more affordable. Well, strategy number one for BP Pulse must be to shut down Tesla, get rid of the only serious competition. And the quickest method of doing that is to simply buy up all the EV chargers, all their superchargers, to gain that monopoly. Then to build new chargers at such a rate that they get almost all of the IRA budget. Why spend your own money when the government is offering theirs? And finally, thrust onto the world a new EV charging rate of 85 pence per kilowatt hour, or equivalent in other countries. Well, this move is a totally blatant attempt to buy the world monopoly on EV charging, and almost all of the competitors have got no issue with it. You see, in fact, some of them love it because it means they too would be able to increase their prices up to this new 85 pence standard price. They love that, but Tesla stands in the way. So to all my really negative viewers who leave comments like, well, Elon's going to hike up prices once they get monopoly, BP is already doing this openly to you. Openly and blatantly, they're trying to do this. Don't blame Elon. Nothing to do with him. That's BP. He's about the only person or thing standing in the way of the whole world having to pay 85 pence each time they charge out on the road. So what is Tesla to do, or is likely to do? Well, I believe Elon likes his monopoly that he has today with cheap EV charging on the road. In fact, it now looks even more attractive. You see, it is in one way a real feather in his cap to do more of what he's doing. Think about this. He sells EVs and makes a profit. He's just one or two companies that actually makes a profit. And he makes a profit on EV charging by various means. First, he manufactures all his own chargers. That makes them cheaper. He employs innovative measures to drive down costs, such as in America, pre-manufactured blocks of 4 chargers on a concrete block that just need dropping off and plugging in, speeding up installation time. It's suggested that Tesla pays around a quarter of the price to build and install a supercharger than their competitors. Well, second is the glorious irony of his EV competitors losing money every time they sell an EV, and a huge sum at that. And then have them all drive to one of his superchargers and fill up. Oh, the irony. In fact, Elon probably makes more from them charging at his superchargers for the life of that EV than legacy automakers make on selling an ICE car for its life. That must really hurt the likes of Jim Farley and Mary Barra. Well, Tesla got rid of their entire head office supercharging team. I believe simply because they're just not needed. Just like he got rid of the whole advertising and promotions department. Why pay people to do something that's not needed? Is there anyone in the world who hasn't heard of Tesla? And just look at the Google search engine results. Right, recently, Super Bowl, halftime, General Motors ran an absolutely massive ad costing millions, probably $3, $4, $5 million. For a 30-second ad, yet the Google search engine results immediately after showed a huge, massive surge in searches for Tesla. Well, the supercharger head office team was simply surplus to requirements. He's not shut down the manufacturing. That continues at a rapid pace. He's got to make chargers for BP and EV Point in the UK. But he has got rid of what I believe he thinks of dead wood. People are queuing up to buy Tesla V4 superchargers. Even BP themselves, $100 million worth of them. Well, if Tesla was making a profit or just breaking even before, when they paid for all their supercharger manufacturing and installing, have a guess how much he must be making now if the government's Inflation Reduction Act is now paying him to do it. Well, BP Pulse is doing the most sensible thing they could think of. Try to buy out Tesla Supercharger. It's brilliant strategy. Failing that, try to get some of the best minds and people in the world to run their own supercharger manufacturing facility. Well, I believe the first will fail. I cannot see Elon selling out to BP, oil and petrol, ever. The second is also likely to fail. You see, in the EV world, Ford, GM and VW all believed they could just switch to EVs and sweep away all the competition and regain their dominance. We've all seen how that ended, and yet it has ended. Ford, for one, just announced just this week it's abandoning EVs for the foreseeable future, going back to hybrids and ICE. Others will definitely follow. Well, BP Pulse is likely to have as much success with charging as they did with EVs. But the final nail in the coffin for BP, huge majority of EV drivers already only ever charge at home. The majority of EV drivers do just 1 or 3 long trips a year where they presently have to charge at a public charger. Headline news this week, catch that every Friday by the way on this channel, is that CATL, the world's largest battery manufacturer, has already made and begun mass production of a new battery that can offer a range of over 1,000 miles and can recharge in less than 10 minutes. Any EV driver in the future who does long distance trips on a regular basis, if they've got any sense at all, they'll sell their old EV doing just 250 miles and they'll just go out and buy one of these new cars that can, and they are actually out there, doing 1,000 miles on a charge. Even if BP ever did get their monopoly, the number of people willing to pay 85p will not be anywhere near the number they need to run such a huge public charging network at a profit. Customers and technology will simply destroy them. I see BP in the final throes of collapse and willing to try absolutely anything to avoid it. See, once a giant, they always want to remain a giant. But they failed to notice the world and technology and the public have already moved on. Well, goodbye BP. Can't say it was nice knowing you. Well, thanks for watching. Once again, if you haven't, then please subscribe. We're heading towards 10,000 subscribers and sometimes just need a little push. Subscribing costs nothing, but it tells YouTube that many people want to watch our content and so puts our content in front of new audiences and we grow. We're so grateful to our Patreon members who make these videos possible. We're now working hard to get out and meet our members, but an initial trip to Bristol made a good start. We will be keeping our members in touch with where and when we're going on our filming trips. See, while a mass meet the viewers is hugely time consuming and disruptive to filming, meeting just a few members while filming is not. So have patience. You weren't in Bristol, but we will get to your area soon. I'm Dave.